Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing more unit reviews. If you don't know what this series is, this is a series where you guys send me your very best Genshin Impact units and I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 so we can determine who has the best Genshin Impact units. If you would like to submit your own characters for unit review, all you have to do is join my Discord. That link is in the description below. After that, there will be some steps that you can follow in the description, and that is how you're going to be able to submit your own character for review. Without further ado though, let's get into the video. First up, we have someone by the name of Tomah, and they want me to review their Kazuha. Level 90 Kazuha, pretty unique. 1000 defense is a little much, but you also got 139 EM. Not much EM for Kazuha. Usually you want to be seeing somewhere in the range of 700 to 800, but I guess maybe we're running DPS Kazuha. Oh goodness gracious. Okay, artifacts are going to be the 2-piece Viridescent, 2-piece Shiwanawa, so you only have the C1, so you're not going to be doing his cool Animo infusion sword thingy, which is kind of sad, but the C1's pretty cool too. And then talents are going to be 10 10 10. Okay, a lot of priority going into the Kazuha here. He's not going to be doing a lot of debuffing action because you don't have much EM on him, but he's still going to be doing quite a bit of standalone damage, which is going to make him very, very powerful. Those E's where you jump up and plunge are going to be a lot more powerful. Same thing with the Swirl, with the Kazuha Slash. However, your other units aren't going to be doing very much because you're not stacking him with EM, which is fine. People have different ways of building Kazuha. That's just the way I like to build them, but let's see some of your pieces. The Goblet is going to be Animo damage bonus with a crap ton of crit damage, a little bit of flat attack. Other than that, pretty good piece. The hat is going to have 14 crit rate. That is a very, very nice hat. Unfortunately, 3 dead stats beside it, but we'll let it slide because there's a lot of crit rate on that piece. The flower is a pretty nutty flower. 21 crit damage and then 8 crit rate is not bad at all. Unfortunately, some low crit rate rolls there, which is kind of sad. The feather. Ooh, man, you have a lot of crit damage on these pieces. I can see why, considering you have Primordial Jade Cutter, so you probably don't need a lot of crit rate. And the Sands is going to have 21 crit damage, 23 EM, 2.7 crit rate. Yeah, not a bad piece. I imagine your ratio is going to be crazy because you have Primordial Jade Cutter. Yeah, it's pretty nutty. But you gotta keep in mind, this weapon is like one of the best in the entire game and gives you 90 extra CV. So that's why this ratio is more insane. Without Jade Cutter, you would struggle a little bit. 111 recharge, pretty decent. I don't think that's exactly enough for Kazuha, but if you use them with certain supports, I'm sure it's fine. And then 61 Animo damage bonus, not a terrible Kazuha. I don't 100% agree with the way you built them. Just in my personal opinion, I find that EM Kazuha, it's just more universal and provides a lot more value for most teams. However, DPS Kazuha, where you're prioritizing damage with skill and burst, is not a bad choice either, so we will give you a very solid 8 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. Next up, we have Saika, and they want me to review their Zhongli. Level 90 Zhongli with 42k HP. Hold up. That's kind of crazy. That's a lot of HP for a Zhongli. Are we seeing Black Tassel? Staff of Homa, and you have 42k HP. Wait, that's crazy. This does give an extra 20%, but I think that means you have to be running double HP on the artifacts then. Okay, I guess we'll see. Constellation is 0, and talents are 8, 10, 10. The 8 on the normal attack was probably a waste of materials, but I guess if you want to have the quote-unquote perfect Zhongli, you go and do you. Let's see some of these pieces here. I'm looking forward to this because 42k HP is kind of nuts. So if you have some other stats to justify it, it could be a very strong Zhongli. Let's see the feather. Very strong feather. That's almost a perfect feather, except EM is pretty useless on Geo characters. So that's kind of a wasted stat. Holy crap. Man, these are really good pieces. Wow, 34 crit damage. That is 5 crit damage rolls. That is really good. 4.5 recharge. Again, wasted EM stat, but I guess it's okay. Your shield will last a little longer. I don't even remember what EM does for shield characters. Yes, it increases the damage absorption power. Let's go. Better shield. We take it. I guess EM isn't the most wasted stat ever, but it still isn't good by any means. The Sands, HP percent with 21 crit damage, 7 crit rate, 5.8 attack. Unfortunately, you got 1 defense roll. Other than that, it's a very, very strong piece. The Goblet, okay, double HP like we expected with 31 crit damage again. Oh my gosh. two 30 plus crit damage pieces, 3.9 crit rate, and 10.5 attack. That is a really good piece. The only thing I'm worried about is your crit rate, though. You have one piece with 14, and the rest are a little suffering, so I imagine you have to be running crit rate hat. Okay, good. We are seeing crit rate hat with 2 crit damage, 2 HP. That is essentially a perfect piece for Zhongli besides the flat defense. These stats are going to be insane. Yeah. Oh my gosh. 64 to 41. That is insane. 104 recharge. Honestly, Zhongli really doesn't need recharge like at all. And then 28 geo damage bonus, I imagine, from your ascension stat. Now, I'll be completely honest, I don't know the exacts of geo damage versus HP here. I'm not exactly sure which one is more beneficial. Geo damage will obviously just make your overall damage stronger, but HP will increase the life of your shield. So it's really just whichever one you like better. Both of them work. Neither is really better than the other. They're both very good options. So the HP goblet is perfectly fine. You like a little more shield. You don't need that geo damage bonus as much. You're already doing enough damage. I mean, you have like crazy amounts of crit damage. Plus, you already get a bit from his ascension stat. This is a very good Zhongli, on the brink of being perfect if you didn't have a couple wasted stats like the flat defense, some EM here, and some defense here. Other than those wasted stats, this is basically the perfect Zhongli. We are going to give you a 9.8 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. Next up, we have Priz, and they want me to review their Sino. Level 90 Sino. We are going to be running Deathmatch. Very good choice. A battle pass weapon. Not a bad one at all. Not going to be his best in slot, but also not his worst in slot. Artifacts are going to be the 2-piece Thundering Fury, 2-piece Gilded the Dreams. Again, not his best in slot, but not a bad option if you can't justify the substats to get a 4-piece Thundering Fury. Constellation is going to be 0. And then talents are going to be 6, 7, 8. A bit of a waste on the normal attack. I don't think Sino's normal attacks do anything as far as I know. But you know what? If you want to have the perfect Sino, go ahead. First is obviously the most important one. You always want to be leveling that above all else. So you do at least have your priorities in the right place. Let's check some of these artifacts. What are we going to be working with here? A plus 12 goblet. Okay, so we're not maxed out yet. It's attack percent too. It's not even electro damage bonus, which is okay for Sino. I think attack percent's fine, but more optimally, you definitely want electro damage bonus. What's your AR? Okay, 55. Okay, that makes a little more sense. You have less artifacts at AR 55, so a piece like this is perfectly fine. However, later in the game, you are probably going to want to replace this piece. Your sands. Ooh, defense. Oh no. Oh no. Defense percent. Okay. You never use defense percent. There is never any reason. The set bonus, this 2-piece set bonus does not justify having a defense percent piece. You always want to be running attack percent or EM on Sino. I like Elemental Mastery a little better. And think about it, right? If you run Elemental Mastery Sands, you're getting 187 from it instead of the defense. And then you're replacing and losing this set bonus because you're probably going to use an off piece unless you have one in set. And if you have one in set, then obviously use it. If you have to use an off piece, you use that, get rid of the set bonus, and get a new piece for yourself. The hat is pretty decent. I like this hat. Got some crit rate, some attack percent. Good for early game. The flower is decent enough. You got some crit rate, crit damage. Not a bad piece at all. A couple unfortunate rolls. Again, for early game, though, not a bad piece. And the feather is actually a really good piece. That's my favorite piece so far. I really like this one. This is a good feather. Got some crit rate, some crit damage. Exactly what you like to see. Let's see the split. So we're going to be running 72-205, which is actually way better than I thought it would be. I'm not going to lie. That's a pretty good ratio. 111 recharge, which is fine. And then 15 electro bonus. Preferably, we like to see that at higher, at like 70 or something when you get that goblet on there. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, you do have 1400 defense, which is way more than you should have on any character, unless you're playing like Albedo or something. So I am going to have to deduct some points for that. However, other than the defense percent and the plus 12 goblet, you are doing okay, and I think you know what you're doing. You're heading in the right direction with your Sino. So we are going to give you a 7.5 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. Next up, we have Blue Croissant, and they want me to review their Cheng. Level 90 Cheng with 2000 attack. That's pretty good with not a single EM though. I don't agree with that 100% because we are in 3.0 now and EM becomes a lot more important, especially on those Electro characters. But let's see what we're working with. We got Blackcliff Longsword, not a bad option if you're free to play or a low spender. but definitely I see Lion's Roar being a lot better for her, or something like the Black Sword as well, which is obviously a Battle Pass weapon, but if you do have the Battle Pass, I highly suggest that for DPS Cheng. Artifacts are going to be the 2-piece Thundering Fury. Okay, so I guess we're prioritizing stats here over set. Very good choice. Constellation is going to be 1, and talents are going to be 8, 8, 8. Not the 10, 10, 10 yet, but this person is AR56, so I actually don't suggest going for perfect talents that early on. Usually you want to start crowning characters later into the game, like AR57, AR58, AR56. You want to kind of get a gist for your team, so 888 is actually pretty decent for where you're at. Let's see these artifacts. So what are we working with here? Let's see some of these off pieces first. So we got a timepiece. Ooh, really nice attack percent timepiece. That is a very, very solid timepiece. You got 46 attack percent plus 9 crit rate, 23 crit damage. I think that might have been a 5 roller that just happened to roll a little low, so you didn't get the 50 CV, but it's still a very good piece. The goblet, another really good piece. Unfortunately, not electro damage bonus. It's only attack percent, which explains why you have 2000 attack, is because you're running double attack percent, but that is fine. It's not a terrible piece. It can be better. Preferably, I do suggest electro damage bonus here, unless you're going like physical Cheng or something, which I imagine you're not, because you got the 2-piece Thundering Fury. But this is a good piece, and if you can't get an electro damage bonus one with good substats, then this will do just fine. The hat is going to be some crit rate, some crit damage. Very good piece. You got 2 good subs on there. Unfortunately, 1 roll into HP. Other than that, really good piece. The flower. Ooh, another 4 roller, a very good one. Unfortunately, 2 dead stats on the top there. Other than that, very solid. The feather is another 4 roller. Wow, you got a lot of 4 roller. Unfortunately, 1 into defense. But yeah, these are really good pieces. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 pieces that rolled 4 times into crit rate, crit damage. This one rolled 3 times into crit rate, and this one 2 times into crit damage. So overall, it's a very good build. You got 76, 216. That's very solid for early game. 132 recharge, which honestly Cheng doesn't need. She gets her burst back up so fast. Recharge is almost pointless. And then 15 electro damage bonus is a little lower than I'd like. I'd like to see that a little bit higher, but obviously you still need to work on that. Electro damage bonus goblet, maybe you're grinding it, just can't get a good one. That is all right. Because other than that, this is a very good build. A very, very solid Cheng. We are going to give you a 8.5 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. Next up here, we have Alexander, and they want me to review their Oritaki Ito. Let's see here. 2600 defense. That's pretty good. Plus 1.1k attack. Again, not bad at all. For Ito, that's good. You got his best in slot, the red horn. I love this weapon. Good choice. Artifacts are going to be his best in slot as well. The 4-piece husk. Another great choice. Constellation 0. Perfectly fine. And then we are going to see triple crown talents. So far, pretty perfect Ito. Nothing to slander about yet. Let's see some of these artifacts. What are we going to be working with? Oh, I mean, it's not bad. I was going to slander this piece because you didn't get any crit damage, but 2 defense, 2 crit rate. But I feel like it could have been better though, because it is your off piece, and usually your off piece is crazy, right? Like you got crit damage, crit rate, defense, and like 2 other stats. It's not a terrible piece, but for an off piece, I think it can be better. The flower, it's not bad. You got a lot of defense on there. That's good. Plus some crit damage, plus some crit rate, and flat defense. This is basically a perfect piece in terms of stats. I just think the stat distribution could have gone a little bit better. Maybe a little more crit rate there would have been nice. Hat is going to be crit rate with, oh my gosh, 31 crit damage. That moment when the crit damage outscales the crit rate. That is insane. Okay. I don't understand how people get pieces like this. The luck is insane. The goblet. Oh, another 25% crit damage, plus defense, plus recharge. No crit rate. A little unfortunate. Other than that, it's pretty perfect. Lastly, that timepiece. It's gonna fall off a little bit in my opinion. 2 HP isn't great. You really don't need HP on Oritaki Ito. There's no reason for it. The only really good stat on there is crit rate, and that's about it. Again, don't need HP, don't really need recharge. Recharge is a little more helpful than other stats, but preferably you'd want to see more crit damage on here, and maybe some flat defense as well would be a little more optimal. But other than your timepiece, the rest of your pieces are all pretty insane. Especially, I'd like to highlight this hat. This hat is nutty. Let's see what your stats are looking like. You got 77, 208. That is a very good ratio. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought it'd be higher because you got Red Horn, which gives you like 80% extra crit damage, which is insane. But it's still a good ratio. 122 recharge is fine. And then 46% geo damage, not bad at all. 2600 defense is also very, very solid. That is a good amount of defense for Ito, and will probably get him to do a lot of damage. All around, very solid build. Only critique would be this timepiece. Other than that, there is really nothing much more to say. This is just a very, very good Ito. We are going to give you a 9 out of 10. And with that, that is going to be the end of our unit reviews for today. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like these in the future, please consider subscribing or leaving a like down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.